Hello and welcome back to Fallout New Vegas. Last episode we completed the Old World Blues DLC and was able to get the good ending there. And in this episode we're gonna be going around and doing some random stuff, seeing what there is to find. And yeah. Now first thing I want to do is pick up another unique weapon that is way over here. It's one I've been holding off on collecting for a while, but it is one of the cooler ones in my opinion, and also one of the stronger ones as far as energy weapons are concerned. And I know we've gone through a lot of sci-fi shenanigans, but we'll just go through a little bit more. Bit paranoid that the Legion lookouts will be somewhere around here. All the things they can go after, and they go after a fucking mailman. So it should be north of these farms. There it is. UFO. And those aliens are going to be immediately hostile, so we are not going to try to peacefully engage in first contact. Oh, and I should equip this one. Ah, crap. Well, look at this guy. Ah, just barely missed. Oh, he sees me. You're both shitty at aiming, dude. So yeah, the Zeta Reptilians, a sort of cross between the stereotypical Greys and the stereotypical little green men. They have cusped fingers, kind of similar to the aliens from the 1953 War of the Worlds movie, and apparently they're really damn heavy. And they couldn't give him a unique laser gun, so they gave him the standard laser pistol. I suppose you can argue he nabbed that off of a prospector, but look, he has an alien blaster on his body, and apparently a couple of tri-beam laser rifles. Really makes you think about where the regular laser guns in the Mojave come from. Alright, this one can be moved a bit easier. Try to get good view of you. Well, that makes it worse. We prop you up on these rocks here. For whatever reason, I can hear people talking in the background, and it is from the game. There we go. See, it has a green tongue and generally green internal mouth structure. Now, some animals on Earth do have green blood, but I have never heard of green flesh like that before. And it has very bright silver shiny spacesuit. or a very bright, shiny spacesuit. And apparently they were setting up camp down here. I don't think it's possible to access that UFO without any, like, cheats or whatever. I don't think this mountain is scalable even with the power of jank. Nah. But that's fine, because we did get this unique weapon. Now this area here, I think, only shows up if you have the Wild Wasteland perk. So, if you want your alien blaster, you have to have that activated. But if you don't, there's, I think, a unique energy weapon in that barn there. Because I have something to drop off.
Oh, it's you. Anything's better. I'm sure you'll be fair and equitable, boss.
I've been holding on to this for so long, but I think it's finally time for you to take it back. It was a toy car that he repaired for the Nightkin and Super Mutants.
If we run, we might still catch Benny. Well, you might. I'll just be wheezing along behind you.
I don't think Benny's much of an issue.
That's why you're the boss. You always make the right decision. I'll just head home. Home to my lonely abandoned shack in the middle of nowhere.
That's a spirit. Yeah, well, it's not the best neighborhood, especially this here, but it's just go east or west and you'll reach civilization. I want to see what's over here. Can I still access this despite, blowing up their base? I can. Gonna grab these power armor stuff. And take them back to the Lucky 38. And I'll cut out this part. The reason I'm grabbing that power armor is because we're going to do Arcade Cannon's quest. I think it's only... Actually, if we're going to do his quest, I might as well keep it, because I'll be able to wear it. Alright, decided to drop off both sets because we will be getting some armor from Arcade. One thing I've come to realize is that the Lucky 38 doesn't exactly have any space for it for hotels. Like, there's a presidential suite, sure. But, it's not...
Hey, you're the one who's been going around helping people around here, right? The king says to keep up the good work. He said to give you this.
Ah, now that's something I like to get. Much better than a gecko on a stick. Like, there's a presidential suite, sure, but that seems like something only a few people could use. Everything else in it seems to be dedicated to either the casino and Mr. House's base of operations, and a cocktail lounge. Man, just imagine if this game had more time to be made and wasn't restricted by consoles.
What's up?
Alright, Novak, there's one place. Here we go. Let's go to the place that we haven't discovered yet.
Here we
I really like the sound effect of this gun. And despite how cool it is, I think I'm gonna not use it just because, you know, the ammo's so limited. If there's a way to make more ammunition for it, I totally would. Although there is always you know, downloading a mod. And I'm definitely gonna get more ammunition for this gun, because it is super useful. I really did drop the ball on Old World Blues, going in so unprepared. Alright, now from what I remember, my arch enemy lies behind this door.
Just as a warning, my covert bandaging
Yeah.
seems a little rusty.
Come on! Stupid fucking bear traps. I literally knew it was right there. I was crouched. I was gonna deactivate it. I still got caught. Fuck you, dude. Why do you have to have that there?
And let somebody walk right in. Mark my words, some evil's afoot. Well, it's about damn time. What took you? Oh,
You were expecting someone else?
I've been in the Reaper's shadow for a long time now, and I thought he'd finally showed up to collect. He's just mocking me now.
Yeah, I don't think the Reaper wears scientist robes and is unable to deactivate bear traps without getting his toes cut off. You sound like you're eager to die.
There's a twitch in my trigger finger. I've lost my eagle eyes, and the other day I could have sworn I heard Sergeant Dornan chewing me out. I'm old, and I'm starting to feel it. It's not pleasant, especially when you know your mind's slipping away. And we all gotta go sometime. But I was hoping for something a little more heroic.
Who's Sergeant Doranan?
He was a drill instructor I knew. He was also the meanest bastard I've ever known. Once he caught this private out of uniform, and old Dornan went off on the most ear-blistering rant known to man. It was inspiring.
Pretty sure the recruits like to call him Happy. That tends to be a name for drill sergeants who are the absolute worst amongst them. Anyways, you served in the military?
Yeah. It was a long time ago. Things were better back then.
Tell me about yourself.
What do you want to know?
So, are you a cannibal?
Huh. I'm not saying. It's part of my mystique, after all.
It sounds like there's an interesting story behind it.
The truth of it is that I did cut out a raider's heart, but only took a bite to mess with his buddies. They had me surrounded, and I went with the first thing that came to mind. Some ran, and the rest were startled just long enough.
You live out here by yourself?
Sure do. Had a wife for a while. Tribal girl, really pretty eyes. But she's been gone a long time now.
I don't have any more questions. Let's talk about something else.
Well, ain't like I've got places to be.
Arcade asked me to gather all the remaining members of the Enclave in the Mojave.
Thought I recognized the fellow with you. So what's this reunion all about then?
He thinks your experience and technology will help resolve the conflict in the region.
Well, now there's an interesting idea. Do a bit of good before we're all dead and forgotten. You can count me in. Oh, and in case Arcade forgot to mention it, there's a 5-word passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My word is old. Appropriate, huh?
If I had to pick anyone who didn't belong in the Enclave, it would definitely be Johnson. He hated what the Enclave was doing. Day to day, week to week, he would question orders, subvert mission objectives, do anything he could to serve without serving. It's amazing he was never court-martialed. He always had good things to say about my father. Said I was like him in a lot of ways. I wish I knew.
He's still within earshot, dude. I'm sure your father would be proud of you.
I wonder if he would. It's pointless, I know, but sometimes I wonder what he wanted me to be. Maybe being a doctor in the middle of Nevada wasn't exactly what he had in mind for his little boy.
Yeah, well... Oh, well, that just goes flying. You're doing more good than you ever could in the Enclave. This must be where the confrontation took place. Or maybe it wasn't. Guess it sort of answers what does he eat. But that's fine. It is kind of funny that a few Fallout characters have managed to effectively subvert death. Like Mr. House, the Think Tank, a few characters in Point Lookout DLC for Fallout 3, the founder of Nuka-Cola in the Nuka World DLC. And yet that technology, despite existing, has either never been revealed to the general public, which is likely, or has been revealed and was just utterly far too expensive. What's this undiscovered location? Hopefully one day we'll be able to cure aging, so to say, and ensure people don't have to die because their bodies start breaking down over time for reasons beyond their control. Where are you?
I've got nothing to say to you. Best move on.
Why are you hanging out by a bunch of radiation, dude? There's nothing even here. Trying to become a ghoul? But to cure aging, that's still gonna be a massive hurdle to overcome. Some people argue against it because, you know, what if I get bored? Oh shit, I get bored even now and I'm not killing myself over it.
Won't be long before the Legion and NCR butt heads over Hoover Dam.
Yeah, about that.
Your travels been going all right?
You were a pilot?
Vertibird pilot. 71 missions and only lost one chopper. Rotor malfunction over Klamath. Hard landing, but I walked away.
What do you do in Novak?
I help folks strip down the more complicated bits of salvage they bring in. Engines mostly. The bits and pieces we take out are usually worth more than the whole thing put together.
Did you fly for the NCR?
4? No, not exactly. It was a long time ago. Things are a lot different these days, and those days are way behind me.
Arcade asked me to find you. I'm reuniting the remnants, and they'll need your piloting skills.
Told you everything about us, did he? Well, it's been a while since I've had my hands on the controls of a vertibird. There's a chance I could crash us in the middle of Lake Mead. That place seems to attract aircraft for some reason. But if I get one more chance to fly, count me in. I'll be there. My part of the passphrase is dear.
How did you like flying vertibirds for the Enclave?
I was never happier than when I was in the cockpit. I was able to go just about anywhere and everywhere, limited only by the fuel I could carry. There were more than a few missions where I took the scenic route home just so I could stay in the air. Caught hell for it every time, but worth it. Some of the things we did were questionable, I know. That's just how it was back then. Figure I've done enough good to make up for any sins, anyhow.
Since my mother died, Daisy's been the only woman in my life. She was the only other woman close to my father, too. She flew him out on over a dozen missions, including his last. I've always been close to Daisy. There have been some good men along the way, but lovers make poor confidants. Daisy never had children of her own, so she was always there to listen. Being in the Enclave didn't mean much to her. She just loved to fly. It broke her heart to be grounded.
It was an important part of her life. Why wouldn't she enjoy it?
As screwed up as it sounds, at least she was a part of something. Granted, it was something, admittedly, pretty bad, but it was something. If you spent the first half of your life flying Enclave troopers in a vertibird, I suppose picking over pre-war rocket parts doesn't quite compare.
I like how the Enclave members here have a lot of personality to them. You know, they're a lot more interesting characters than how they were presented in Fallout 3 and even Fallout 1 and 2, where they were mostly just designated bad guys. I suppose a lot of it comes from the fact that they're all retired and have had time to reflect on what they've done in life. Doesn't seem like many of them explicitly regret what they've done.
Looks like I forgot to lock the doors again. If you're with the NCR, get out. This place is mine, and I'm not leaving.
Do you have something against the NCR?
Like you wouldn't believe. The NCR makes a habit out of wrecking homes. I came out here to get away from them. Didn't work out so well. Next thing I know, I'm squatting in their land. Never mind that I already been living here for years.
Sounds a bit like the feud between the, pioneers who ventured far out west and the larger United States government who eventually caught up. What do you do around here?
Do? I don't do anything. I'm retired.
So what did you do before you were retired? And what is retirement like in the post-apocalypse? Like, you have a large supply of caps you can spend on food and water?
I was a soldier. Why do you even care? I came out here to forget about the past, so quit bringing it up.
Arcade and I were looking for you. We're gathering the remnants.
Been a while, Arcade. So, what's the point of all this? Can't find any younger mercenaries?
Your advanced level of tech would be useful in settling things between the NCR and the Legion.
Is that right? The million-dollar question is, who exactly are we settling?
Do you have a preference?
I wouldn't mind cutting down a few platoons of NCR troopers with my old Gatling laser.
Are you coming to this thing or what?
Oh, I'll come. But depending on the plan, I might not be staying. Keep that in mind. Arcade might have mentioned there's a passphrase needed to get into the bunker. My part is, remember.
What did you do when you were with the Enclave?
Heavy weapons trooper. Nothing better than hosing down a target with an excess of bullets and laser fire. By the time I got through with things, not much was left standing. Any morons who didn't run when they saw me coming got what they deserved. Back then, it was war. If we'd been on the winning side, I'd be called a hero.
Kinda reminds me of when somebody goes around a corner to hide there in TF2 and you're playing as Heavy. So you're just constantly holding M1 and walking toward them, and they can see the bullets start to fly closer and closer. But anyways, yeah, I'm sure many a soldier on the wrong side of history has said that in the past. And that they weren't wrong either.
What's up?
I mean, any Confederate soldier or Nazi or Soviet has
Moreno took the fall of the Enclave hard. He never questioned his orders, never questioned the legitimacy of what the Enclave was doing. To him, It was all one unbroken chain, from Washington to Richardson. When we left Navarro, I remember looking up at Moreno. He said, "Kiss America goodbye, boys." When we left the Enclave behind, the love in him burned itself out. Now there's just a bitter old man left.
Man should know when to let go.
It's been decades, you know. By now, he's been out of the Enclave longer than he was in. Most people know when to hang it up and start over. But not Moreno.
Anyways, and that'll always be the case for any other conflict that comes up. Because at the end of the day, war never changes, as a tagline for Fallout goes. And as much as Bethesda likes to use that tagline in their games, I don't think they quite understand it. You know, the meaning behind the phrase is, despite all that has changed in war, the technology, the tactics, the focus. So like, for example, more than ever in the modern time, war is mainly a war of information than a war of put two sides against each other and whoever kills the other side most wins. Like a war of information could be propaganda, trying to convince either your side, the civilians and populace, that what you're doing is right, that what you're doing is right, or trying to convince the other side to believe something that won't benefit them.
Welcome, sir.
For example, you've probably heard about the whole, like, Russia and Trump thing that's been going on. The amount of Facebook posts and Twitter posts and bots and stuff they've been utilizing in order to sway American opinions. That is, whether people like it or not, warfare. It's just a war of information. There is also, you know, spies, espionage, figuring out what the enemy knows, what they don't know, whatever information that could become useful to your side. The atomic bomb has largely rendered conventional warfare inadequate. There's always that threat that one side is gonna go AWOL and start launching the nukes. But the point is, despite all that has changed, fundamentally the reasons behind war stay the same. Territory, resources, ideology, whether feuding, rivalries in ancient Japan, or the modern day wars in the Middle East, at the end of the day, that's why we fight.
ACR took back Nelson. Maybe they can win this war after all. Is there something else I can do for you?
Arcade Gannon has asked me to gather all the former members of the Enclave in the Mojave.
I'm intrigued, so I'll go to this reunion. I'll be handing things over to Calamity, so talk to her if anything comes up. Oh, you'll need my word from the passphrase to get into the bunker. Friends. Don't forget it.
I'm surprised to find another human here, and are you okay, are you alright, Arcade? You're not gonna phase in and out of reality too much?
I prefer the solitude, and having a bunch of super mutants around tends to keep things safe and quiet.
Doc Henry always was a hard one to figure out. It didn't seem to matter whether he was working with humans or dogs. He had an equal lack of affection for both. A regular Diogenes. I'm not sure what the man was after. Knowledge is power, but to what end for Henry, I have no idea. The problem was what mattered to him, not its practical impact. He simply solved riddles because they existed.
His work was what mattered to him.
Not everyone dreams of being a revolutionary, I suppose. Maybe we can't all change the world. Maybe it's enough just to do good for the short time that we're here. No one's going to sing Doc Henry's praises when he's gone. But he's probably saved more lives than I ever will.
Yeah, it is kind of unfortunate that people who have done a lot of good and saved a lot of lives aren't more known about. Like Norman Borlaug, who was a 20th century scientist and quote-unquote the founder of the Green Revolution, is credited with saving 1 billion lives due to his work in breeding and hybridizing
West
crops.
Side, huh? I passed through here with another follower a while back, Anderson. The locals were having a lot of trouble getting water through.
Having, being able to ensure that those crops would be able to grow in harsher environments. And that's basically what GMOs are. Manipulating. Be quiet, I'm talking. And that's basically what GMOs are. Just genetically manipulating plant life in order to better grow in harsher environments. Be less finicky, be less uncompromising. And you can argue, well, the organic stuff is inherently better, but when it's between being able to eat and not being able to, it doesn't really matter what's better, now does it?
Caesar's dead. Why ain't the NCR taking care of regular folks yet? Sticking around for the attractions?
What do you do in West Side?
I help tend the crops, stand watch for fiends, and generally help keep things civilized.
How long have you lived in West Side?
Couple of years now. I was a trader for a while, but got tired of all the walking. West Side was a good place to settle down as any.
So that's your West Side story? Arcade asked me to find you. I'm gathering the remnants.
Hello, Arcade. Making some new friends, are you? Why the need for a bunch of old war horses like us?
You'll be the element of surprise.
Swooping in on a vertibird, guns blazing? Haven't done that in years, but all right, I'm in. None of this means a thing if the rest of the group doesn't show up, though. Oh, and you'll need my part of the passphrase to get into the bunker. Navarro.
So that's all of them, so the phrase is, dear old friends, remember Navarro. Tell me about your old days with the Enclave.
I miss those days sometimes. We all had a purpose, you know? I admit that some of the folks in charge were pretty ruthless. The rest of us, though, we were just trying to civilize things. The NCR was still new, and it didn't look like they'd last all that long. Then we lost the oil rig, and shortly after that, the base at Navarro. Nobody left except us remnants.
What happened to the Enclave oil rig and Navarro?
Internal sabotage took down the oil rig. Never did get the full story. The NCR took out Navarro, saying we posed a threat to the region.
I'd like to know more about your former squad.
I was the officer in charge, and Johnson and Moreno were my heavy hitters. Henry handled tech things, and Whitman flew the chopper. Johnson and Moreno never got along, and I had my hands full keeping those two apart some days. It was a difference in philosophy, mostly. Mercy was not part of Moreno's vocabulary.
Goodbye.
Judah Krieger is the glue that's kept us all together over the years, and with good reason. Anyone who can command Moreno and Johnson in the same unit without somebody getting fragged is one hell of a leader. Krieger was polite and kind, but never warmed. He always did his best to make me feel welcome in the group. I think he did it out of a sense of loyalty to my father. Loyalty means a lot to Judah. Not loyalty to the Enclave, or even the ideals they fought for, but to the people who served with him.
They're loyal to you too.
Sometimes I wonder how much of my father they see in me. They went through a lot together, but my family went through it too. I'm glad they've watched out for me all these years. Maybe someday I can return the favor.
And so we must head over and out. I'm hoping this isn't a dead end. I think it's a dead end. Oh, come on. Surely you can fly that flag
We got
higher.
ourselves a little Ranger family reunion. Time's right.
I mean, you know, aren't you proud of being part of the NCR? Come on, put it all the way on top. Let people know far and wide who has stakes in this area. The Remnant's bunker. Activate door control panel. It appears to be some sort of passphrase needs to be entered in order to open the nearby door. Dear old friends, remember Navarro. Love how tall this is. Here's some power armor, but we cannot grab that yet. Guess we have to talk to him
Those
since he's
robots
a
on the
leader.
strip, Securitroids or what have you. Well, they've been acting different. Glad to see you made it here all right. So, who are we going up against?
How are you going to deploy your squad?
Marino, Johnson, Henry, and I will be the boots on the ground. Whitman will stay with the vertibird.
What is this place?
This was a minor refueling station for vertibirds. It seemed an appropriate place to stash our equipment if we ever needed it. I'm surprised this place hasn't fallen apart. When I put it into standby mode, I expected to return to it within a few years, not decades.
I want you to help the NCR hold on to the dam.
Then that's the plan. We're gonna have a problem with Moreno, though. He won't like that we're helping the NCR. You'll have to talk to him.
What's Moreno's problem with the NCR?
They won. We didn't. It's as simple as that. The rest of us moved on while Moreno didn't. Still, I'm not convinced Moreno hates the NCR as much as he thinks he does. You still might be able to talk him out of leaving.
Alright, I'll talk to him.
You've got only one chance at this. I know Moreno. Once he's made up his mind about something, there's no changing it.
Where are you?
I didn't come all the way out here just so we could save the fucking NCR. I'm out.
The remnants come in, guns blazing, showing the NCR how it's done. You actually don't want that?
I can't believe you've actually talked me into this. Fine, I'm in. But don't expect me to hold my fire if any NCR troops get in the way.
Thanks for doing this. Getting them all back together again. I'll be honest, when Moreno started going off, I didn't think we'd all be walking out of there in one piece. I still don't know how this is all going to shake out in the end, but at least the Enclave can atone a bit for all the damage it's done.
You've certainly done your part.
I've been wondering about Daisy and the others for so long, I still haven't figured out what I should do. I mean, I'm not like them. I was born at Navarro and my father served with them, but I wasn't really part of the Enclave. It seems presumptuous of me to think I could join the fight, even if this is a cause worth fighting for. Because I know when fighting breaks out of the dam, all hell is going to break loose in Freeside. They're going to need every doctor they can get.
Well, I'll be able to handle anything at the Hoover Dam. So if you're sure it's going to be a bloodbath, maybe you should stay in Freeside.
I honestly didn't expect you to say that. When I talked to you about Daisy and the others, you seem to put a lot of value in loyalty to the past. What's changed since then?
You were born at Navarro, but you're your own man. They have their fight and you have yours.
True enough, I suppose. Getting them back together must be worth more than me spraying plasma all over the dam. Back to Freeside it is. I need to make a stop before I settle in. I'll be back in a while. Thanks again for your help. It means a lot to me.
No problem, buddy. You lost Arcade's better healing perk. Arcade has returned to Freeside. I'm just glad I'm not over encumbered because of what I did.
Moreno's a stubborn son of a bitch, but he's also tougher than any of us. I'm glad you were able to talk him into staying. Since Whitman will be staying with the vertibird, she's offered to give her old suit of power armor to you. You'll need special training to use it properly, so talk to her as soon as you get the chance.
I'll talk to her then.
The training might take several hours, so keep that in mind.
I appreciate you keeping Orion in the group. Since I won't be needing my armor, makes the cockpit a bit cramped, you should take it. It'll take a few hours to show you how to use it properly, so let's get started.
Perk added, you've received the specialized training needed to move in any form of power armor.
The NCR is the best bet for the wasteland. I'm glad we'll be helping them out.
I'd love to see the look on the NCR's face when I swoop down in my chopper.
Just be aware you're not going to be the only bird in the sky.
I can't believe I'm going to help the NCR.
It'll be fine.
The NCR's got its share of warts, but I'd rather have them around than the Legion.
No kidding.
We'll be ready, don't worry.
Kinda funny, you need a special training for the power armor. And in Fallout 4, your character can just hop in any of them, and hell, even there's raiders who are in power armor in that game.
Like I said, I needed to go do something. This is it. It belonged to my father. I thought I might wear it at Hoover Dam, but after you talked me out of it, I didn't see the point in hanging on to it any longer. I'm here because of you, so I figure you're the one most deserving of it. It should protect you from everything short of a plasma caster. And if you need anything at all, you know where to find me.
I'm honored.
It's the least I could do. All I ask is that you put it to good use. This place has lived in the shadow of Caesar for long enough. I may not be the one to help stop him here, but you are. Fortis fortuna adiuvat. Good luck. And goodbye.
It means like good fortune to you. Well, I mean, Kaiser's dead, but his little shit stains are still roaming about. The only problem is that I'm now over encumbered, but that doesn't matter when you have certain perks, now does it? But as I was saying, like, I guess you can argue, well, the male character was a former, U.S. Army, former soldier. So maybe he got training, even though the opening cinematic of him didn't show him using power armor. But his wife can also crawl in a suit of power armor immediately after the bombs fell, and all she has is a law degree. I'm sure courts in, the pre-war global catastrophe America got pretty hot there, but I don't think anybody needed power armor. Yeah, pretty cool looking set of power armor. Ton of sparks on it and stuff. Alright, now that we've settled all of the companion missions, let's head over to Hoover Dam and make sure the president is safe. see, where's Ranger Grant?
I've heard of you. I'm glad you're here to help us out. This is a delicate matter, and we need all the help we can get from people we can trust. We've got a lot to do to prepare for the President's visit, and not much time. Once we start, we'll be on a strict timetable. Are you ready?
I have some questions first.
Ask your questions, but keep it short.
Can I use my weapons during the President's visit?
We trust you, so you're free to have your weapons. Just don't do anything too crazy, and we'll back you up.
What are your security arrangements?
Security detail consists of rangers stationed here at the dam. Some will keep an eye on the crowd while others will watch the perimeter. Snipers and sharpshooters have been assigned to key locations. We also have a special canine unit sniffing out members of the crowd. I've also locked down access to critical locations, such as the landing platform on the visitor center.
I'm gonna need access everywhere.
Alright, I'll give you full access.
Do you have a detailed schedule for the visit?
I have a full itinerary here. Here you go.
Do you have any leads on possible security threats?
The Legion will definitely try something. We don't have any solid leads yet. I'd almost expect something direct from them. But given the circumstances, there's a possibility of something more subtle, like sabotage. But since we don't have anything solid, we'll just have to keep our eyes out for anything out of the ordinary.
What can I do to help?
Someone like you. I'm just glad to have you on board. Do whatever you can. Security sweeps, talk to people, keep an eye out.
Alright, done with questions.
If there's nothing else, then let's get moving.
Aye aye, sir.
Good. The President doesn't arrive until tomorrow. Get some rest. I'll brief you in the morning. Glad you could join us. Most of my men are already on duty, and the crowd has already started gathering outside. We've got a busy day ahead of us.
So what's the plan for today?
The plan is to get through today without the shit hitting the fan. So I'll be overseeing the security team personally, and keeping in constant contact with people over the radio. It's a good bet that the Legion is gonna try something today, so we have to be prepared for anything. We'll do whatever it takes to get the President through this visit in one piece.
Let's get this show on the road.
President Kimball is arriving shortly. If you want to do any last-minute security sweeps or take a look around for anything suspicious, do it now. Once you're ready, meet me outside on the observation deck. Don't take too long.
I'm honored to work with Lawson. He knows more about the dam than anyone.
Honored to speak with you, sir. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for. Colonel Moore survived 4 tours against the Brotherhood back west. If anyone can help take on the Legion, it's her.
Nothing out of the ordinary here. Let's see. Oh, there's a pool of blood on the floor. Perception 6 required. Let's examine the stain. You examine the area and notice a bloody wrench and a toolbox nearby. Someone was killed here recently, and judging by the scene, it was one of the engineers. You should keep an eye out for any engineers acting strangely. And I'm just gonna nab this, because it is a unique article of clothing.
Patrolling the
How
Mojave
about you?
almost makes you wish
The
for a
fiends are
nuclear
running for
winter.
their lives. That'll show everyone what we do to our enemies. You're a model citizen. Thank you.
He checks out.
Hanlon is pretty legendary. People talk about what he did at the first battle of Hoover Dam with awe and respect.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Hey, you haven't seen my friend around here, have you? His name is Ben, and he's an engineer. We were supposed to meet up so we can watch the president's speech together, but he hasn't shown up yet.
I haven't seen him.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just keep waiting. Sorry to bother you.
Pool of blood belonging to an engineer. And one of his friends reports somebody missing.
Nelson's back in our hands. I hope you can defend it.
Some wine. Oddly suspicious. but I can't quite place anything yet.
Is it me, or has the Brotherhood stopped engaging us? Smartest move they ever made, you ask me.
Not allowed to go up there. 9 caps, interesting.
You're cleared to go on through.
Good work, soldier.
Nothing is gonna happen to the President on my watch.
Have you finished your security sweep?
I'm ready. When will the President be here?
Looks like that's his vertibird coming right now. It's showtime. Let's not mess this up. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some security procedures to oversee.
And I will make a new save. Keep an eye out on that guy up there.
Wish I could have been there to see Caesar die. What an asshole.
He is kind of an asshole. This is probably their, desperate attempt at regaining something from the NCR. Seems very odd that they would host it right here rather than McCarran. Like right by their fort over there.
Thank you, my fellow Californians, who have come so far to answer the call to service put forth by the Republic. It is for you that I have come here, and it is because of you that I am able to do so. We enjoy our privileges because you take the greatest of risks and are prepared to make the most noble sacrifices. It is because of men and women like Private First Class Jeremy Watson that Nevada and the new California Republic remain free and secure. Born in a tin shack on the outskirts of one pine, Jeremy Watson never had any easy. His father was a caravan guard on the short route, and his mother, like many Californians, braved the ruins of the old world as a prospector. They suffered through water shortages, raider attacks, and the Brotherhood War. Like our mighty Sierra Nevadas, they endured. But the time came when they could no longer shoulder the burden alone. 12 years ago, they called out for help, and the Republic heard them. Troopers, rangers, just like you, answered the clarion call. Men and women stepped forward to say, I will carry the weight. And at Owens Lake, we made true on our promise, driving out the raider tribes to establish a lasting peace in the eastern Sierra Nevadas. We carried the weight, and though we left behind many of our brothers and sisters on that battlefield, it did not break us. 10 years ago, Chief Elise met with representatives of the Desert Rangers to discuss terms of what would become the Ranger Unification Treaty. The treaty was more than a resolution to welcome the Desert Rangers into the Republic. It was a covenant to protect Southern Nevada against Caesar's Legion and the tyranny of his regime. There are some back home who ask me, but who are we protecting? What is Nevada to us? Sometimes we forget that the light of our society shines beyond our borders. Sometimes we take those privileges for granted that our forebears fought so hard to achieve. We must always remember that wherever Californians stand, we carry our principles with us. Equal respect, representation, and protection under the laws of a just republic. This was the same fire that burned in the heart of the old world that preceded us. We are the heirs of that civilization, torchbearers eastward of the Pacific, into the darkness of this wasted land. When the Republic called on the men and women of California to carry that fire across the Mojave, Jeremy Watson answered. You answered. Together you carried the weight. And when PFC Watson's platoon came under attack at Forlorn Hope, he took the greatest risk. Not only for his fellow Californians, but for California itself. He was prepared to make the most noble of sacrifices to defend the principles of our republic, even here, on Nevada soil. His actions are a beacon to all of us who stand here today in tribute to his valor. Private First Class Jeremy Watson, on behalf of the Senate and people of the new California Republic, it is my honor to present you with the Star of Sierra Madre. Not far from this spot, a monument stands as a...
Oh. That's no fun. Let's do this correctly now.
Come back in a minute. I'm busy with security matters. Come back in a minute. I'm busy with security matters.
We need to keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
Come back in a minute. I'm busy with security matters.
Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind?
You're looking at the presidential vertibird. The assassin could have done something to a vertibird. Repair or explosives 50 or higher required. You search the vertibird and notice a strange item that doesn't belong. Upon examination, you notice it's a bomb. You skillfully disable the bomb and remove it from the vertibird. What an absolute jerk.
Thank you, my fellow Californians, who have come so far to answer the call to service put forth by the Republic. It is for you that I have come here, and it is because of you that I am able to do so. We enjoy our privileges because you take the greatest of risks, and are prepared to make the most noble
Where
sacrifices.
the hell did he fall?
It is because of men and
This
women
is
like
trail
Private
car
First
behind the
Class
Where's
Jeremy
Ezio
Watson,
Auditoria
that
up there.
Nevada and the new California Republic remain free and secure.
What are you doing up here?
There's a dead ranger downstairs.
Oh, shit. Really? We should go take a look.
Let's go.
Okay. Lead the way.
Board is in shack on the outskirts of one high.
You silly Billy. I'm not a dead ranger.
His father was a caravan guard on the short route, and his mother, like many Californians, braved the ruins of the old world as a prospector. They suffered through water shortages, raider attacks, and the brotherhood of war. Like our mighty Sierra Nevadas, they endured. But the time came and they could no longer shoulder the burden alone. 12 years ago, they called out for help, and the Republic heard them. Troopers, rangers, just like you, answered the clarion call. Men and women stepped forward to say, I will carry the weight. And at Owens Lake, we made true on our promise, driving out the raider tribes to establish a lasting peace in the eastern Sierra Nevadas. We carried the weight, and though we left behind many of our brothers and sisters on that battlefield, it did not break us. 10 years ago, Chief Elise met with representatives of the Desert Rangers to discuss terms of what would become the Ranger Unification Treaty. The treaty was more than a resolution to welcome the Desert Rangers into the Republic. It was a covenant to protect Southern Nevada against Caesar's Legion and the tyranny of his regime. There are some back home who ask me, but who are we protecting? What does Nevada to us? Sometimes we forget that the light of our society shines beyond our borders. Sometimes we take those privileges for granted that our forebears fought so hard to achieve. We must always remember that wherever Californians stand, we carry our principles with us. Equal respect, representation, and protection under the laws of a just republic. This was the same fire that burned in the heart of the old world that preceded us. We are the heirs of that civilization, torchbearers eastward of the Pacific, into the darkness of this wasted land. When the Republic called on the men and women of California to carry that fire across the Mojave, Jeremy Watson answered. You answered. Together you carried the weight. And when PFC Watson's platoon came under attack at Forlorn Hope, he took the greatest risk. Not only for his fellow Californians, but for California itself. He was prepared to make the most noble of sacrifices to defend the principles of our republic, even here, on Nevada soil. His actions are a beacon to all of us who stand here today in tribute to his valor. Private First Class Jeremy Watson, on behalf of the Senate and people of the new California Republic, it is my honor to present you with the Star of Sierra Madre. Not far from this spot, a monument stands as a tribute to the sacrifice made by those who came before us. The men and women who fulfilled the promise we made to the Desert Rangers. Its back is inscribed with the names of the troopers and rangers who carried the weight. And because they made the most noble of sacrifices, it did not break us. 4 years ago, we held this dam. 4 years ago, we carried the weight. 4 years ago, we drew a line through the Mojave as clear as the Colorado River. A line that Caesar cannot cross. Today, you stand here with our brothers and sisters to hold that line. Today, you honor all Californians by carrying that weight. Today, you are the waves of the Pacific, pushing ever eastward. You are the sequoias rising from the Sierra Nevadas, defiant and enduring. You are the great western light of California, torchbearers in the darkness, living reminders of all that is best in our republic. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here. What the hell are you waiting for? You think I want to get shot? Let's go.
Do you mind? 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 Do you mind?
Shouldn't you be keeping an eye out for anything suspicious?
I found a bomb on the president's vertibird.
A bomb on the president's vertibird? Only a limited number of people had access to the vertibird. We have to get the president out of here now. I'll cancel the speech and have security search the area. We can't relax until we get the president out of here safely.
Can you shoot this guy without issue? Looks like we're clear. Oh, right, wants me to go back to Mr. House. President's gone, dude. You don't have to be so tense. You know, just take out the trash. Oh, he even has his knife on him. And... nope. Where's your knife, boy? I'll leave him with his head on so that the NCR can identify him. Like how there's bullet holes in Victor. Like he was shot at. Or maybe he wasn't. Maybe, I don't know. It looked like bullet holes. But, I think they are bullet holes, because they're not exactly the same. He was just shot at from both sides. Do the other ones have some? They do. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm their favorite VIP, guys. Hey, homie.
If not for you, President Kimball would be dead. So you needn't feel guilty when the NCR's route from Hoover Dam demolishes his political career.
What's the next step?
The Legion has nothing left to wait for. Their assault on the dam could begin at any moment. Before that happens, I'll ask you to complete one other task. It may seem trivial, but that's far from the case. Between the Strip and Helios 1 lies the El Dorado electrical substation. Humble as it appears, the substation has immense strategic value, for it's there that you'll jumpstart the Lucky 38's dormant reactor. Gain access to the substation's control room and install this override module. Just so you know, there are NCR troops guarding the station.
What's this about a dormant reactor?
The strain of defending Las Vegas from annihilation exceeded my power system's capacity. My primary reactor shut down. For years, I played a miser with my emergency power supply. I began to run out of reserves around the time I woke the first batch of Securitrons. Negotiating an allotment of power from Hoover Dam was crucial. That's what's powered the Strip for the past 7 years.
Why didn't you restart the reactor earlier?
I needed the operating software on the Platinum chip to bring it back online. And to start the reactor itself requires a tremendous jolt of current. Very attention-getting. The NCR has its hands full now, of course. I doubt they'll raise much of a fuss.
You already have power. Why is this important?
This is not a good time to be dependent on energy from Hoover Dam. When the Legion attacks, the NCR may cut power altogether. And I'll be needing a good deal more power than the NCR has allotted to the Strip. Broadcasting encrypted VMQ-boosted command signals to hundreds of Securitrons eats up more power than you might expect.
I'll take care of it.
With this accomplished, all preparations will have been made. The battle for Hoover Dam will be upon us before long.
Do not be alarmed.
So, you know, it makes sense having a power supply separate from the one everyone else uses would be a strategic advantage. Especially given that right now the NCR has control over where power does and does not go. So just
You better get out of here if you know what's good for you.
Alright, I'm leaving. No need to make a fuss. see what my reputation with everyone is. So with the NCR, doing great, I'm idolized. With the Strip, I'm also idolized. Kaiser's Legion, you know, they have a few problems with me. Liked by the Great Khans, by Novak, merciful thug to the Powder Gangers. I'm idolized by the White Gloves. Liked by the followers of the Apocalypse. Not sure what I can do more to help those guys out. But overall, most people, you see, I'm only a merciful thug to the Brotherhood of Steel. Most people actually think I'm pretty darn cool, you know?
Thank you for visiting New Base.
Most people think I'm the bee's knees.
As you can see, Vegas is humming along. I've tested my C3I broadcasting arrays. Everything is in order. And just in time, as it turns out, the forces of Caesar's Legion are on the march, establishing a staging area east of the dam. Their assault could begin at any moment, so that's where you'll be heading, if you're ready. Hoover Dam.
Why do I need to be there? The NCR has an army.
Indeed they do. An army that'll be too distracted with killing legionaries to notice the real reason you're there. Your objective is to reach a control room halfway across the dam and install an override module similar to the one you used at the substation. The override will enable me to control the entire dam's power output. You may remember how the bunker at the fort was rather dimly lit. Well, just like the Lucky 38, it needs a big jolt of electricity to power up. You've already uploaded the new operating system to the Securitrons. All they need is power, and they'll be in fighting trim.
I have some questions first.
Even now, on the brink of battle?
Yeah, what about it? What should I expect at the dam?
Imagine two snarling dogs fighting over a curve of bone. Perhaps the rib of their master, long dead. It'll be a pitched battle, that's a certainty. Perhaps the greatest battle the Earth has seen since the human race nearly made itself extinct.
Any speculation on Legion tactics?
With Caesar dead, it's hard to know what to expect. The legate Linnaeus is renowned as a brutal man, not a subtle tactician. Frontal assaults, wave attacks, these are the sort of tactics one would expect from such a man. As I've said, your objective is to install an override module in the control room halfway across the dam. Are you ready to perform this task?
I have some things to take care of before the battle.
Then handle them with dispatch. The Legion's assault is imminent.
And so here we stand on the edge. The second battle of Hoover Dam looming over the Mojave like a specter. But of course, we are not quite ready for such a battle because I have some old business to take care of. But we will be starting that in the next episode. I'm gonna spend some time getting stim packs and ammunition and stuff so that I'm not caught with my pants down like last time. So until then, I hope you enjoyed the video, that I gave you something to think about and otherwise entertained you. Take care. What do you think the others will do at Hoover Dam?
I don't think you need to worry about the specifics. Basically, expect a lot of firepower and dead bodies. Enclave technology is even more advanced than Brotherhood equipment. And in the hands of soldiers as experienced as Moreno and the others, Let's just say it's truly a sight to behold.